The wait is over. The all-new Umoja Radio Network, home to over 40 black-owned radio stations and podcasts, is here for you. Connect to the world's fastest-growing collection of unapologetically black and proud media, from podcasts to independent black-owned radio stations, and access to the important news and music you need. Umoja Radio is from our culture, by our culture, for our culture. The all-new Umoja Radio is available right now on Google Play and the Apple Store. Join the movement. Be empowered.
103.7 The Beat has officially launched its new interactive music video show. WUVS 103.7 presents features, music videos, along with dialogue, a variety of topics, and interviews with local influencers, dignitaries, and national celebrities. Airing Mondays at 11 p.m., Wednesdays at 7 p.m., and Fridays at 10:30 p.m., with bonus shows at various time slots on the Michigan statewide Comcast network, CN 900, reaching nearly 1 million households in all the major markets throughout the state. Join the conversation and be part of the show. Submit your questions through Facebook Live and have it appear on the show. Be sure to like, share, comment, and ask questions.
All right, family. We're together again on the historical day. PA, Big Rob, Hilltop J in Pine Hills, Orlando, John Covington somewhere. I don't know where yet, but he's somewhere. How we doing, family?
Doing fantastic.
He's in one of his rooms in his mansion.
Right, yeah, one of them. Jay, how you doing, man? You in Orlando? It's 75 degrees today. How you doing, brother?
Hey man, we pretty good down here. No complaints. Kodak got pardoned, and the weather is nice, and we're just making it do what it does.
We got to talk about all that. And to the women that's watching, I know we got a bunch of testosterone on the screen. We've been trying hard to get a female, get a couple females. They all turned us down right now. They was
our life story. Our life story.
Right. Especially for me, right?
They turned us down.
All right. John, I'll go to you, man. Your thoughts on what all has happened today, man. And we're gonna get into the pardon and all that stuff in a little bit.
Well, today, let me ask you a question before I go into that. Who, PA, would you say are some of the world's greatest black leaders of yesteryear? Let's not even talk about the 21st century. Let's go back to the 19th, 20th century. Who would you say, if you had to name 4 men, who would they be?
Elijah Muhammad.
Okay.
Marcus Garvey.
Okay.
Martin Luther King.
Okay.
And 20th century. They take you back to 1900, right?
Okay. Well, that's good. So you said Elijah Muhammad, Marcus Garvey, and Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah.
So where is Marcus Garvey from?
Jamaica.
Jamaica. And my question to you was, who are the greatest black leaders of the 19th, 20th century? And you named a brother from Jamaica. So
no doubt.
I said that to say, Kamala Harris's daddy is from Jamaica. She's black. Yeah. Let it go. Let it go, y'all. Let it go. You see what I just did there?
Right.
So if Kamala's not black, then that means that what? What does that mean, Hilltop J? That means that Marcus Garvey is not black.
Yeah, I don't even want to wrap my brain around what they trying to
because
say.
he's half Jamaican too. He's Jamaican. He's Haitian Jamaican. Rob, German Jamaican. Jamaica's running things, man. They out here running stuff, bro.
And Jamaicans are black. You know, I saw a post. I saw a post recently where somebody said, you know, Marcus Garvey, blah blah blah, and I said, wait a second. You're acknowledging Marcus Garvey, but you want to discount the fact that Kamala Harris is black. So if you got to discount the fact that she's black, you got to discount Marcus Garvey. You got to discount Colin Powell. I could go on and on and on and on, actually. Yeah. But there's no need to. So back to your question. So let it go, folks. Kamala Harris is a black woman. All right.
AKA, yeah. That one drop rule
HU,
applies.
you
Yeah.
know. So sorry about that little tangent, but it was driving me crazy. And I'm sure if I asked any intelligent thinking brother, name the most outstanding black men in history, 19th, 20th century, I think most would mention Marcus Garvey.
I was like, how did you know I was going to mention Marcus Garvey?
Because it's true, even though it's subjective, but I think most of us agree with that.
Right.
With that assessment.
Wow.
I just knew that you would, just like in April 2019. I thought that we would be here this day with Joe Biden, Kamala
let me
Harris.
pull that up. I gotta pull that up on the screen, y'all, family that's watching online. I think we have a psychic amongst us, family.
Yeah, psych me some money.
I wish.
Yeah, I've been trying to get that 4-digit. No, I want the big one out of you, brother.
I wish.
This is what John Covington said on April the 30th, 2019. I wouldn't be surprised if the Democratic ticket ends up looking like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
Yeah, that man.
Wow, man. You special, dude.
I wish.
You talking about me being an Illuminati? He must be part of the Bilderbergs or something. He knew what was cracking. he must have flew down there with the Bilderbergs and me that, and they had a meeting and
eavesdropping. Right.
Yeah.
Jay, what does it mean for you, man? Your mom is Jamaican, right? Daddy's Haitian.
Yes, indeed.
Got the best of both worlds, brother. What does it mean?
You know, COVID took Carnival for us, so it's only right we took the White House. I mean, it's not the same, but it makes us feel a little bit better. Very proud, you know.
What y'all talking about? What the family talking about, man? I know it's a lot of Jamaican pride in the household, a lot of Haitian pride in the household.
The conversation, for the most part, obviously you have the pride on the one side, and then on the other side you have my dad, who spends most of his waking hours making fun of Trump these days. So the fact now I get to see what else we're gonna talk about now that everybody's up out of there. It's gonna be an interesting couple weeks.
Right. Rob, what about you, man? Jamaican. Your daddy's from Jamaica. You half Jamaican. So is Bob Marley. No? You like Bob Marley. Bob Marley was mixed.
Yes. Yeah. Very much so. And I didn't know he went through the things he went through being a mixed Jamaican, but that's another story.
Right.
I mean, I guess it's a sense of pride for the culture, you know, a sense of, you know, feeling really connected, you know, with a lot of things, you know, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And people, you can ask your question, make your comments. We got Dennis Film say, mind you, she grew up in Oakland. Tell you what, it don't get no tougher than that Black Panther movement and
bruh.
Oakland's like a West Coast version of Detroit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think
Right.
it's a place everybody should go to at least once in their life to experience that.
Right. Monica Daniels said, all right, you called it, John. And Ken Shelton said he part of the Skulls
and Bones. John, you part of the Skulls and Bones now.
Yeah, brother. I would love to get a female into our conversation. And I would love to get a female to get a female point of view, because at the end of the day, it's a Black woman that got elevated today on the international platform. And if you'd like to be part of this conversation, please, no, I don't know. I guess I got inbox on Facebook and I give you the link.
Excuse me. I have a friend who just came down from Kentucky. She and she's a Delta, so maybe she can speak a little bit on her. I'm gonna hit her up and see if we can get her on.
Yeah, that's good. Good. Lynetta LaFear said John need to get us the lotto. We can, yeah, with that $1 billion hanging out there, we all be rich.
Hey, Lynetta, I'm with you.
Right.
I'm with you. Yeah, for sure. We can
So-
split it.
Some other things happened today. The brother senator, Pastor Warnock, got sworn in today. And we had a Hispanic senator for the first time, very first Hispanic senator sworn in from California, who took Kamala Harris' position. And you had a
Right.
Jewish senator from Georgia got sworn in today.
Right.
Any thoughts on that, brothers?
I think that honestly, I was at both of Obama's inaugurations. I was at both of them. One of the first one, which was I think the coldest day on record in America that day. I don't know if you remember that, PA. I think
I
you were
remember,
there
bro.
too. Yeah. But anyway, today felt even more different than Obama's first election to me. I don't know if it's because Kamala is a woman. I don't know if it's because of the last 4 years that the country endured. I don't know if it's a relief. Have you ever been in a relationship and the relationship ended? And once it ended, you felt like the relationship never existed. It was just a relief. You were just like, man, I don't even feel like I was with her. Like, but you were, and maybe you were with her for a
Or
while.
try to forget like you was with him.
Yeah,
been
yeah.
there.
Well, that's kind of what today feels like. It feels like the last 4 years was a tumultuous relationship that all of us were in that just got worse and worse and even more worse than what we even thought was possible. And so today feels like, man, it honestly feels like a relief. So it feels more impactful even than Barack Obama's, to me, even than Barack Obama's first inauguration. And so I thought that today, obviously, is historical for many reasons. When you look at Biden's age, when you look at the fact that there's a black woman, you look at the fact that there's an HBCU band coming down the street to escort her. When you look at the fact that her husband is a Caucasian fella, when you just mix all these things in, it's kind of a reflection of really where America is right now. And a lot of people I know do not like that whatsoever. But more people obviously are okay with it than not. So
Right.
today was a phenomenal day, and it still is a phenomenal day.
Right.
Seeing him sign executive orders to reverse 180 degrees things that the president put in place when right after he became president, to see those things undone. Most of those things I feel are necessary to take place. So today, just overall, is an amazing day, I feel, for America. Now, all of America, like I said, may not feel that way, but I think overall today is a great day for America.
Right. Okay, let's talk about what else happened last night while Trump was probably on his way to Florida.
No, he left Washington this morning around
Yeah.
8:30.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh,
I was
he
on-
out here.
Yeah, he's still out there. Okay. Well, he was still in town.
He was still in Washington, D.C. last night, 8:30 this morning. About 8:30, 8:45, he boarded Air Force One for the last time, and he
Wow.
jetted.
Get off.
He
I
went to
feel
Mar-a-Lago,
I
which
feel
they
sorry
say
for
they
Trump.
don't want him there.
I feel sorry for Trump supporters.
He went to Mar-a-Lago, so
Why you feel
Yeah.
sorry for Trump supporters, man? They good.
No, they were passionate for. They was riding for their guy.
They still
And
riding
now-
for him.
You know.
Yeah.
He not going nowhere. Like, he's still out here. He about to start cutting up. I'm waiting to see once he gets back on. What's the new one? Parler or whatever app they gonna create? Probably gonna make their own Twitter.
Party. But here's the story. Here's the story that of Kwame Kilpatrick being I guess his pardon or clemency, and President Trump said he paid his dues, isn't a threat to society. President Trump called for the prison officials to immediately release Kwame Kilpatrick up on his order, but stuck the former mayor with the $4.7 million restitution tab. We've been trying to get folks on from Detroit. They kind of busy. My friend Montez Miller she would have been on with me early at 4:00, but we changed the time. Rob, being from Detroit, and get your thoughts, John, and then Jay.
Well, I don't think Kwame should have went to prison in the first place. You have a lot of his counterparts out there who's done worse and who's continually doing worse, and they didn't go to prison for a tenth of the time, so or at all. So I mean, Kwame, he did what he could for blacks. I know that in that city, blacks had never had that many contracts in their life from the city of Detroit during his tenure. A lot of these things that he was prosecuted for and stuff, he had nothing to do with. So, I mean, let the man come home. I just, hope he do the right thing.
Right. John, your thoughts, man.
Couldn't disagree with Rob more. I could not disagree with him more. Kwame, and we talked about this back when it was happening in I think before he ever got sentenced the first time, we were all talking about this on radio. I said at that time, Kwame is going to play the tape back. I said, Kwame is going to go to jail, but Kwame doesn't know when to sit down. Kwame will get out of, this is what I said, play the tape back. I said, Kwame will get out of jail and Kwame will end up going to prison. This happened about 3 or 4 years, couple years after that. But I think that the sentencing was excessive. Yes, I do agree with that. I do agree with the fact that the sentencing was excessive, but Rob, contrary to your point, Bobby Ferguson was sentenced to 21 years, if we recall. You guys know who Bobby Ferguson is. If not, Google that. But he was sentenced to 21 years. Even though the sentencing, I feel, was excessive for Bobby Ferguson and the other person, as well as Kwame. Kwame was guilty factually of the things that he was accused of. But again, the sentencing was excessive. But you got to keep in mind, Kwame wrote President Trump a love letter. Now, whether or not he meant it, we don't know. But he wrote him a real nice, warm, fuzzy love letter back in 2019, I believe it was. And Trump loves it when you
stroke his ego.
Yes. Now, Bobby Ferguson probably didn't do that. And there are other people who probably didn't do that. And so Bobby Ferguson probably ended up doing his entire 21 years. So yes, I think that what Kwame did to the citizens of Detroit and the arrogancy with it, I do feel like he had prison. He had that coming to him. Y'all know me. No. I don't switch it up based on. I don't switch it up. So that's what I believe. And
what do you think he should have gotten there? 28 we know is excessive. We got some murderers not getting 28 years. What do you think he should have gotten?
Yeah, I agree. You know what, PA, I've never thought about it, but I remember the sentencing saying, whoa, they're trying to teach him a lesson. Or they're trying to make
he die in prison.
He would have been out in 2033 or 2037. He wouldn't have been dead. But
totally.
one thing
not totally.
What would he have been, 67? I don't know. How old is he now? What would he have been?
Yeah.
So I think Kwame messed up, and I hope that with this opportunity that Kwame gets together and does the right thing. I will be curious to see where he goes. Is he, Christine Beatty? He said that that's who he loves since high school. He didn't marry her, but of course they got into a little entanglement. But I believe she's down in Georgia. And I think his mother is down in Georgia. So where is he going to go? Is he going to Texas or is he going to Georgia? Real quick story. I don't know if you guys remember this, But when Kwame got out of jail the first time, I was in a Walgreens in downtown LA the night of a Lakers game. It was Walgreens right there on 7th Street. And Paul, you have been to my place on 7th, a couple blocks from there. And
Right.
there's a line of us at the cash register, and you can see who's at the door. And Kwame comes in, and I see him. I recognize him. Of course, people in LA don't know who he is. And I said, "Hey, what's up?" I said, "What you doing here?" And he said, "In the store." He said, "In the store shopping just like you are," and kept walking. Kind of rolled his eyes at me.
Oh wow.
Yeah, funny story. There's more to the story later that evening at the Lakers game, but I won't share that one.
All
Let's put
right.
it this way: he didn't make it in the game. They didn't recognize he anyway.
Uh,
Yeah,
Jay,
Uh-oh.
Hilltop
petty
Jay, your
story.
thoughts, man. Your thoughts, man.
Oh man. Not being from up north, I'm not from Detroit. I've actually never been to Detroit. And so the only reason I know about Mayor Kilpatrick is because I'm a nerd. But even beyond that, just looking at the case, like it's insane to me because I know a former governor who let his constituents drink lead water in Flint. And like, is he locked up? How long has he been locked up for?
0. He got 2 misdemeanors.
Oh, yeah. So free Kwame and all my people, because like at that point, it's like I saw a clip that if you follow the Wire 985, we had on our story, because it was a throwback clip of Muhammad Ali, and this lady from England was telling him about how she doesn't like him because he's arrogant, because he's braggadocious, this, that, and the third. And basically he told her the truth. Like, you don't like me because he didn't use the term black man, because I'm a black man. You don't like when, black men are arrogant when we talk like this. So yeah, Kwame, Mayor Kilpatrick, former Mayor Kilpatrick, probably did some things he shouldn't have. But to have people that kill people out and about just chilling, like, it's not justice. Like, it can't be justice. So
All right. Hey,
I'm not a
Rob.
judge. I don't know what it should be, but yeah,
All
free
right.
my guy.
All right, Rob, can you take this comment?
Andre Burke Sr. says, I feel that Kim Worthy wanted to let people know that she didn't care it was a black, strong political man in front of her for the sentencing. Kim was unhappy with how he was making Detroit look.
All righty. All right, let's head over.
And I kind of agree with that, but when I was saying counterparts, John, I wasn't talking about, another black person. There's other white mayors out there who's done some atrocious stuff that didn't get that much time. Yes, if Kwame had anything to do with what did he really do?
Well, first of all, let me just say this: one thing has nothing to do with the other. My
Mm-hmm.
daughter, I want to go back a bit. My daughter works for the Michigan Attorney General.
Mm-hmm.
Had they had proof, and the statute of limitations weren't up, and they had proof, and they felt that the former governor, Rick Snyder of Michigan, been had they been able, they felt in the court of law to prove that he had murdered people in Flint, he
Mm-hmm.
would have been charged. He would have been charged with murder. You can only charge people with what you can charge them with. I think that we just look at everything on the surface and then we start comparing things. That's not how law works. What another mayor did and got away with, that has absolutely nothing to do with Kwame. I've gotten away with things that other people haven't gotten away with. I haven't murdered anybody and I haven't been in any ginormous scandals, but I have gotten away with I I have been driving down the street, and because of some recognition of some sort, I got out of a ticket or gone to court, and the ticket was thrown out. Point is, you don't compare scenarios. That's just not how the law works. If you get caught doing it, guess what? You get caught doing it. It's got nothing to do with the other guy who was driving by you faster than you were when the police pulled you over. Hey, there's a guy driving by faster than me. That has
All
nothing to
right,
do with the fact that you got caught. That's not how law works. That's not how the world works. And I think that we need to get off of that comparison crap. It doesn't serve any purpose. If somebody does something and they get caught and they don't get out of it, it is what it is. And Kwame pled guilty to the things that he was, when he pled guilty. If you look that up, Rob, it's been 7, 8 years now. I don't remember what the specifics were, but he pled guilty, just like Mike Flynn pled guilty last year, and the president pardoned him. Which, interestingly enough, the president didn't pardon Kwame. He commuted his sentence. There's a difference. Now, I will say this. In the letter, Kwame did ask for his sentence to be commuted.
I was trying to get they don't took it off the website of the White House. I was trying to get the correct terminology that they use. But I think what Rob was trying to get to, that the scale of justice just don't, it seems to tilt one way when it's blacks, and there's another way when it's a rich white person. Or
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that.
Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, and just to jump in, I'm gonna stay out of Detroit business because, like I said, I haven't been up there, so I don't like speaking on things that are beyond me or I'm not completely versed on. But what I will say is, I'm from Florida. We had a governor who literally, before he got elected, was convicted of Medicare fraud. Like, that's what he was famous for. Like, he's a rich millionaire guy, and he got rich largely off of fraud. And he wrote on that with his millions. He became governor. Now he's our senator. Shout out to Rick Scott. You know what I'm saying? So, like, America is it's just a weird place. And I think
not to mention, we got a mayor in Orlando that was convicted. Well, he went to jail. Well, he was investigated, went to jail, or what was the situation with Mayor Dyer? That he had to step down.
Hey, shout out to Mayor Dyer. I live down here, so I'm gonna put that information out at a different time. But what I will say is, the justice system in America has never really been about justice, and I don't think it's unfair for us as black people to point that out often and be loud about it. You know what I'm saying? So
that, John, was my point. I've been to jail, been to prison, been to juvenile detention center. Being locked up in a cage just because you did something ain't always nice. I don't know if you've ever been in somebody's prison or in somebody's jail for any length of time.
I have.
But if you have, that's like being a caged animal at times and stuff like that. That don't make you change the error of your ways. That just makes you even more bitter and angry than anything. And for a man to go to prison and because they allegedly did something. How do police and prosecutors, all of them, prove what they're doing, what somebody else did? It's usually either they got video and their video means more than my video of George Floyd getting getting a knee on the neck and dying that way.
Right. Hey, we got about to add some balance to the conversation. Jay. Well, we got some estrogen about to come in the room. Thank God.
It's only right.
All right, Jay, can you introduce our next guest who's joining the conversation?
Great friend, friend of the station. She does a lot of great work for us down here in Orlando, 98.5 FM. Amazing public servant, proud Delta, proud representative of the Urban League. It's Hollywood Kells. Tap in.
Hey, Hollywood Kells, welcome to the show. How you doing today?
Good. It's Hollywood Keys, but that's okay.
Hollywood Keys. My bad, Hollywood.
Y'all good.
Hey, this tea hitting. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You got in that TJ.
Right. So first of all, we want to ask you the same thing we asked the brothers earlier. What did you see the inauguration, and what was it like for you?
I did see parts of the inauguration. I was actually doing a watch party with my source. And it was an awesome feeling just being a woman and seeing a woman take the second highest ranking place in this nation, and just representing so much, being the first woman, being the first African-American, the first Asian-American woman, somebody that was a graduate of an HBCU, somebody that is a member of a Divine Nine organization, take that spot. It was very emotional for all of us. So Yeah, I had I recently changed into my Chucks and Pearls, and so I took that off. But yeah, we were definitely represented today.
So how was the watch party? How was it?
It was good. We were lit in there. Like it was a lot of great commentary. A lot of people were saying that they were crying. Some members of the organization were saying that they were just blessed to see that moment in their lifetime. So we had a range of generations on that call. And it was really powerful. I see that other women's groups are doing watch parties too, especially in the Orlando area, because currently I live in Kentucky, but I'm down in Central Florida visiting for a few days, used to live here. So yeah, so I saw lots of great things going on in the city.
All right, getting some of that sunshine today.
Yes.
So where did you pledge at?
At Eastern Kentucky University, Ada Road Chapter, Fall 09. All
righty then. All right, got a Delta in the house. We talked about the clemency, the commuting of Kwame Kilpatrick, sentenced by Donald Trump. Are you familiar with that? Are you familiar with that case?
I am not.
But you are familiar with Kodak Black though, and Lil'Wayne.
Yes.
I kind of figured. I kind of had a hunch you might know a little bit about that. What is your thoughts on that? On Kodak Black, Lil'Wayne getting some help from Donald Trump?
I have mixed feelings about it, but I was listening to somebody earlier today, and they were like, they just hope that Kodak has finally learned his lesson, and I hope so too, and that he uses some of the, information that he's gotten on the inside to make a difference on the outside. And yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. I'm really neutral.
Okay, all right. Did you see that coming? Did you see that happening?
No, but I'm not surprised.
Right. Jay, what is your opinion on Kodak Black and Lil'Wayne, both Floridians, getting that pass?
It's a beautiful day for the great state of Florida. Big shout out to Kodak. I have a soft spot for Kodak, and he's not perfect. And if you go through his record, there are things that are embarrassing. There are things that will make you ashamed of him. But I think at the end of the day, he represents a lot of young, misguided Black men that are just really easy to hate and are really easy to sort of make like, oh, this is as bad as society gets. While at the same time, you have, again, people that have people drinking lead water and know about it, or people that profit off of fraud and know about it, or people that know that COVID is like going to be a big thing like months ago and hides that for whatever reason serves your purpose. So it's like, I feel like Kodak is one of those people that gets thrown up when they want to sort of change the conversation and like, okay, well, yeah, but y'all are still the thugs and the criminals in this situation. So, you know what I'm saying? Don't get too, hyped up about yourselves. But I'm happy whenever I see someone who's a nonviolent or a nonviolent person who's been put in that situation, especially someone like Kodak, who has pretty much been locked up longer than he's been free. Like in terms of like his life, I think he's like a year younger than me. I'm 23 right now. I think he's been locked up since like, I'm talking like before junior high. So,
oh, wow.
So if you I'm going to shout out Instagram again. Last night when the news was coming out, I saw a clip started circulating. I was like, he was meeting with the University of Florida football team because he's a fan. And he had a chance to talk to the coach. And he was like, yeah, man, I got my GED. I want to come to college. And everyone in the room started laughing. And that kind of encapsulates like what he and a lot of young black men that look or sound or fall kind of aligned with his experience kind of have to deal with, So he's not perfect, but I rock with Kodak.
And he's Haitian.
And he's my Zoe. Like
right.
What you want me to do?
Rob, your thought. Your favorite rapper, Lil Wayne?
That ain't my favorite rapper, brother. Ain't never been my favorite rapper. You know better than that. Bro. Neither one of them. Lil Wayne should have been put up under the jail.
Well, come on,
I'm just being honest.
Well, he would have.
Kodak Black, I don't know too much about his case, but he's an idiot from the things that I saw. He's a young idiot out there doing idiotic stuff and expect nothing to happen to him. It's like that little child that keep on cussing and they finally get around Big Mama and Big Mama put some lead to him and they stop. That's what needs to happen to him.
That's the question.
Big Mama, whoever
in the situation.
whoever he listening to.
Right. Right.
Lil Wayne said something that to me that was idiotic. He said a white police officer saved his life when he had got shot.
That's his testimony, though, Rob.
But I'm telling you though, what got me is you don't turn your back on your people because something happened good for you. When George Floyd got killed, he couldn't say nothing about that, and you can see where the cop was wrong.
Yep.
But he gonna say, "Well, a white officer saved my life when I got shot." So that other white officer killed your brother.
And that's the thing. That's the thing about Big Rob. I'm glad you touched on that because that's the thing about being black. It's deeper than skin. Like it's not about skin color at the end of the day. It's what are your principles? You know what I'm saying? Like you, me, and I think everyone on this call is blessed to have been raised with a consciousness and awareness of what it actually means to be black, what it means to be a black man. I look at Lil Wayne and even Kodak, some of the conversations, some of the comments that Kodak's made about, that showed that he has self-hate that's been taught to him. That shows that, he looks at himself and being a dark-skinned black man, he feels like he's ugly. He's probably been raised to think that he's ugly and dirty because, you know what I'm saying, that's how he was raised. I think it's a tragedy, really. I see comments like that from Wayne and it breaks my heart. And then I look at a situation where Wayne probably would have ended up under the jail because if you look at Wayne, he's not in the best of health. Like he's getting up there in age. So I look at that photo op now a little bit differently. Like, man, maybe that was a smart investment on his part. Because I mean, Joe wasn't gonna let him out, and Obama wasn't gonna let him out.
It's like what Malcolm X said, touching on what you said, Jay. He said, who taught you to hate yourself? He asked that question. Who taught you to hate yourself? You got to think about that, and you got to think about it real seriously. And I guess that's the biggest part that irked me about what Lil Wayne said, about the police officer saving his life. Okay, fine. That's good. But look what that other one did to your brother.
Yeah.
You have to really think about that. You done made most of your money off black folks, and now you see this black man getting killed, and you want to come out and say something, but it ain't to the good for the black community, in my opinion.
But Rob,
you asking all us these questions, Paul. What's your opinion?
All due respect, I think a lot of white people's buying Lil Wayne music. They're his concerts.
They might have. That's good.
And I think that a lot of our people are might not be buying it. There you go, bro. I didn't want to put it out there. We got eavesdropping. My opinion, the justice system has been unfair. The person who worked in the criminal justice system is unfair. Whether they should have done their time or not, it's not up to me. I just believe that it should be fair. And I think what Trump did was try to shed light on this. He did something because of somebody get a favor for him. I mean, he just returned the favor. But
transactional.
It was transactional. But the justice system isn't fair, and we see that every day. And I just hope that everybody else get the same treatment as Kwame, as Kodak Black, and them other people. I mean, Flynn, all them other cats that was listed down there. We got one last question. I'm gonna come to you, John, so you can comment on this. But I'm gonna get everybody ready for the last question. And that last question is gonna be, what do y'all expect to see? What do you want to see from this new administration? But John, your thoughts on Kodak Black and Lil Wayne, man?
Well, couple things. One, you can't keep a good man down, and you can't keep a bad man up. So you can pardon people, you can get them out of situations. Somebody who is not a very good man, they're going to continue to be. Not everybody changes. Not everybody. Some people that the president pardoned have been or commuted. They've been getting into stuff all their days. That's just what they do. That's just what they do. Now, that being said, if the president was really interested, the former president, if he was really interested in criminal justice reform, then there are lots of brothers who have been incarcerated wrongfully for a gazillion years that he could have pardoned or commuted their sentences if he had wanted to. Yes, it seems to be all transactional with him, and he wasn't interested in that. And just like Barr and Sessions, both of his former attorney generals, just like people who applied to utilize the First Step Act program, his own Justice Department denied those applications
Wow.
overwhelmingly.
Really?
Overwhelmingly.
The First Step program that they promoted.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. His
Wow.
Justice Department denied those applications overwhelmingly. But even with that being said, had he wanted to pardon some of those men, perhaps some of those women, he could have done so. But he chose not to. It is all transactional. Of course, I do believe that the justice system, and it's been proven, it is a fact, it has been proven over and over and over again that the justice system has not been just toward African American men and men of color. So that is a fact. So I don't want anybody to ever think that that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that one thing has nothing to do with the other. You commit a crime, you get caught, it is what it is. You do the time, but you don't say in a court of law, well, what about that other guy that was speeding? I'm saying that's just not how it works.
Right. Going to you, Hollywood Keys, your thoughts on what would you like to see in the new administration? Biden-Harris administration.
Can I make one more comment about Kodak Black and Lil'Wayne really quick? Okay, so back to Jay's point about them hating themselves. I also feel like they hate Black women too. They've made multiple comments about, dark-skinned women and how they admire these lighter-skinned women. And so I just think that's interesting because both of them have Black mothers. Both of them live with single mothers and their mothers struggled. And so it just doesn't make sense to me about that as well. And even with Kodak Black changing his legal name, I mean, he had a proud Haitian name and then he changed it to what? Bill whatever. Yeah, Bill. He was trying to do Billy Blanco at one point, and Blanco's white. So, yes, so it is evident that they hate themselves and they just hate Black women. And that I just don't even like saying that. Like, how could you hate Black women? I don't know.
Creator.
You hate yourself.
Creator. You know what I mean? Wow. So your thoughts on the Biden-Harris administration, what would you like to see?
I would like to see what they were talking about today, unity, trying to figure out a way to bridge the gaps because, you still got bipartisanism. So trying to get the parties to come back to being mutual again instead of just really hating. I feel like the country's been really divisive. I would also like to see, more Black people, Black women getting promotions because of this. I would like to see more Black women getting their recognition. I've heard from multiple people, this is the year of the Black woman and I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. And also I'd like my student debts to be cleared, please, immediately. That's what I'd like to see in the stimulus checks.
All right. Thank you. Big Rob, what you like to see from this administration, brother? Big Rob? Nothing?
I would like to see justice, man, for everybody.
Okay.
Fair stuff.
Okay.
It's always been my thought that if a police shoots somebody and it's questionable, they need to go to jail and sit just as long as I would until the investigation is over with 3 years.
First, right?
They need to go there first.
That night.
Put in handcuffs and go to jail, period. They shoot somebody, they kill somebody, and it's not cut and dry, go to jail. So justice reform, justice, just period, justice. Will we see any of that? I doubt it.
Okay. JC.
I think it's the same old song and dance.
JC, what would you like to see, brother?
I think the most paramount thing is COVID. And I would like to see us get a grip on this life-altering, changing crisis that we're in. We've had, in my opinion, 4 real crazy crises. Civil War, the Great Depression, World War II, and COVID. I'm not saying that there aren't some other things in there, but in my mind, that's what sticks out. And I think that if we don't get a grip on it, we're going to be even in worse shape. I know numbers are coming down in several places, but I would say that's the number one priority is to get out of this current crisis that we're in, COVID-19.
All right, Jay, Hilltop,
uh,
talk to us, brother.
I noticed that they're really big on making history with this administration. They made history. He's the oldest president in history. She's the first black woman, she's the first black and Asian woman sworn in by a Latina Supreme Court justice. Something else. I think he just announced that a transgender woman is going to be leading some department of the health. Like it's a lot of they're running up the score with.
It's going to be a deputy and
a deputy,
yeah, deputy, not the head of the department.
Which is dope. All this historic stuff that we're making, we're running up the score with it. What I want to see is like bring in somebody who can actually change the room. You know what I'm saying? Like it's cool. It looks like America. It's part of their marketing campaign is that this administration looks like America. But bring in somebody like if we're talking about reparations or something, like bring in somebody who has been talking on it longer. You know what I'm saying? Or if we're talking about criminal justice reform or I don't even know how you reform the criminal justice system. If you talk about changing the criminal justice system so it's not unjust anymore, bring in someone who's been, speaking on it. Like if am I making sense?
Yeah. A Michelle Alexander type person who wrote
like someone who usually isn't in the room because they're gonna say something that's gonna piss off people. Let's bring them in the room. And I would like to see that. I'm not holding my breath, but I would like to see that. More so what I feel watching today is it's a new year, it's a new opportunity. For my Black people, I need us to look back at the last 4 years that we survived, that we just went through, and realize we don't need friends. We don't need to be liked. We don't need love. We don't need them to love us and start in the system that we all live under just because, Black people are in the street protesting, or Black people. I see the mother of someone crying because they just got killed, in their home by a cop. Like we've been seeing that for the longest. It's not like a thing where we need collective Black power and we need pressure. We need to pressure people. Like we need to pressure these systems that are established and that people are benefiting from. I think one of the best things that I was seeing in the past 4 years is that people were actually getting up and disrupting stuff. Like, don't make it comfortable to just ignore, another Black person got killed. I'm gonna throw up a hashtag. Or, one of the craziest thing I saw was on Martin Luther King Day, like these organizations that were wiretapped, like the FBI and them are still sending like messages out, happy birthday, MLK, this, that. MLK is really liked now. But when he was actually doing stuff, they was wiretapping him and spying on him, and they killed him.
Right, those are facts.
So, I mean, all this feel good stuff is cool, but I'm trying to get to work.
I appreciate all y'all.
Well, PA, you ain't gave your opinion.
Oh man, y'all threw so many thoughts out there. I mean, you touched on all of my thoughts. Definitely reparations. I definitely believe that we need to take control of ownership in media. Black media needs to be some stipulations at the FCC that increase Black-owned radio stations and television stations across the country. Because right now we at a very small number, at a very small percentage. We need to be able to control that narrative. I believe that we need to establish a great relationship with our African countries and treat them right in the trade agreement. We need to lift the embargo on Cuba. We need to take care of Haiti. We need to put pressure on France as a country, to France to wipe that debt off from Haiti, so they can get back into trading. They can not get back to, can start trading with other countries. I think there's a lot we can do as an American. I believe that Puerto Rico should be a state. No, they deserve to get a statehood. We need to look at Virgin Islands where there's a bunch of Black people. They should get a statehood. Those are just my thoughts. Like Hollywood, I'm gonna let you get the closing thoughts. Anything else before we go? Hollywood Keys.
I think that you have said it all beautifully. Thank you guys for allowing me to be on this panel last minute. And so I'm excited about this administration. I'm ready for this. I'm so ready for this.
All right. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Big Rob. Thank you, J Dub, and of course, thank you, Hollywood Keys, and thank you, our listeners and viewers, for joining the conversation. Going back to more music.